beautiful friend. Welcome back. Last episode was hard. We talked about why you're stuck, why your nervous system didn't listen to your thoughts. So why think positive didn't ever work, never will. But this episode is the hope. Because here's the thing. If your nervous system can learn threat, it can learn safe. But not through the thinking, through the body, through the connection. So let's talk about co-regulation. Gabor Maté points out something we need to understand. Humans are dependent on caregiver longer than any other species. Babies are born completely unable to regulate their own nervous systems. They're completely helpless. This isn't a flaw. This is the design. We're meant to learn regulation from others. We had clans, tribes, extended family. They help babies regulate. You have to borrow regulation before you can own it yourself. A safe nervous system connecting with another safe nervous system. That's how calm gets learned. You can't bootstrap what was never installed. So this is why isolation makes everything worse, and why connection truly heals. So what should have happened? Let me show you that. We have a baby in distress, crying, upset, overwhelmed, poor thing. The caregiver attunes. I see you. I feel you. I'm here. Maybe skin on skin. In tribes, somebody was always carrying the baby around. So the baby's nervous system borrows from the caregiver's calm. Then the distress can resolve, not because the baby figured it out alone, but because the baby borrowed safety from that person. This happens thousands of times, and eventually the baby internalizes that soothing. Then they can self-regulate because they learned how from someone else first. And this is about what's get downloaded. So when it works, here's what will get downloaded for the baby. When I'm distressed, help comes. I can be soothed. My needs matter. The world is safe enough for me. The download is love. Not just words, not just intention, actual nervous system learning. I am safe. I am held. I belong. And then there's the cry it out method. So let's talk about what happens when this doesn't work. The whole cry it out parenting. That's what my parents did. Lots of parents did, 60s, 70s, and on. So the child would be in distress, left alone in distress. I remember being in my crib and being scared by my Mickey Mouse nightlight casting shadows all over the walls and crying and nobody came to help me. Anywho, here's the problem. They don't know how to soothe themselves yet. They can't self-regulate. It hasn't been taught. So what gets downloaded instead? Distress is normal. No one comes. I'm alone with this. I have to shut down to survive. The nervous system never learns safe. So, I want to be clear, this isn't about blaming all the parents. My parents listened to the pediatrician and the whole system. They were told this was right. They heard, you'll spoil that baby. Little kids and babies, they need to learn that independence. But here's what we know now. You can't teach independence by abandoning dependence. You have to meet the need first. Then the child can venture out because they know the safe base is still there. And secure attachment. Here's the good news. We know what secure attachment looks like, the practices. Bowlby, Ainsworth. Decades of research on this. And the pattern can be broken in just one generation. It's so exciting. This can change everything. The key principles. Responsive parenting. Meeting cues promptly. A nurturing touch. The physical closeness builds security for the baby. Emotional availability, being present and attuned, willing to feel felt. feeling the emotions with the baby. And consistent care, predictable, reliable. And then encouraging exploration. Let the child feel safe to venture out beyond you. And this goes out a little more and more over time with children because they feel like they have a secure base with that caregiver or parent. And the signs that it works. When secure attachment happens, you see it in the child. They comfort easily after distress. They explore confidently. They seek comfort when they need it. And they show joy when the caregiver returns. They develop empathy. They learn cooperation. The capacity to be in a relationship. To trust. And if you didn't get this as a child, you can create it now with safe other people. Or even emotional support animals. Therapist, partner, friends, group. You're not too old. The nervous system remains plastic. So let's talk about body-based practices. What actually works? Remember, the nervous system doesn't speak thought. It speaks sensation, breath, rhythm, movement. This is why body-based practices actually create change. Breath work, like a slow exhale, activates the ventral vagal. A longer exhale than an inhale is a safety signal. You're telling your nervous system, no tiger here, no bear, I'm okay. Yoga. Bessel van de Kolk recommended it for trauma survivors. You breathe in time with movement. You pay attention to the body. It builds interoception and awareness of your internal body state. And it reclaims your body as home, not your enemy. Even more practices. There's Tai Chi, Qigong. They're move and breathe. They are slow and rhythmic. It's regulating without words. And then there's singing, especially in groups. Breath control and rhythm with others. The vagal toning through your voice. Your vagus nerve runs behind your voice box. So literally humming, singing, chanting calms you down. And if it's in a group, the social co-regulation is built right in. And that happens with any group activity, really, because nervous systems sync up. The unconscious stuff syncs up. And that's how we're designed. The isolation is dysregulating. The connection is regulating. Then there's body mapping. There's this very interesting practice. It's about locating where you feel emotions in your body. We're not usually trained about this. And neuroscience shows emotions are spatially located in the body. Like fear might be a tight chest. Joy might feel like a warm glow. Anxiety might be a churning stomach. And here's how it works. When you feel a distressing sensation, where is it? Sit with it. Name the location and just feel it. Just don't try and fix it. Feel where it is. And then switch to something like joy, safety, happiness. Where do you feel that? We're more familiar with the negative sensations, but you can tune into the positive too. That builds a capacity to shift between the states. You can consciously control shifting between states. You learn, I can feel this and I can feel that. The body becomes more navigable. It's not just completely reactive all the time and dysregulated. So it's not too late. I want you to hear this. It really is not too late. The nervous system can change at any age. Neuroplasticity is real. It's harder than in childhood when you're in that theta state and everything downloaded, but it's possible. Every safe interaction can rewire you slightly, and there's a cumulative effect over time. So what you need, safe others, even one, body-based practices, and have patience with yourself. This is slow work. It wasn't built in a day. And have self-compassion too. You're learning what should have been taught. And if you learn it, you can also teach it to others and be that safe co-regulating person, which is really cool. So in closing, let's remember where we've been. In episode 5, We talked about the good design we had as humans. Episode 6, we were corrupted by shame. Episode 7, downloaded into our biology all these beliefs that run subconsciously. Episode 8, the nervous system learned threat. Episode 9, the nervous system can learn safe. So you're not broken and you're not too damaged. You're running old software. And software can be updated through the body, through connection, through practices that speak the language system of your nervous system, which is not words. Next episode. What happens when a normal survival response gets labeled as simply a disorder? And that's about pathology. And we'll look at how the system profits from your pain, unfortunately. I'll see you there, beautiful friend.